But during the fire, one thing had occurred. When I went down, I found the icona of Panagia. So when I came, I found that icona and the icona of St. Nicholas in the back, downstairs in the basement.
They weren't up top here? They weren't?
Oh no, they were down there. And I said, it's beautiful. And they said, oh, that icona used to stand up here. The iconostasio that was then was a plainer one than this.
Right.
White. Was burned.
Completely.
And all the icons burned.
Except that
except that one icon stood up in the fire. And when they built this in 42, they took it and went downstairs.
Until it was replaced and brought back out?
And when I found it, I noticed that from one of the eyes, it was swollen. And it was liquid. And I'm looking at it. I said, wait a minute. I was a lot younger then, and I could see well. And there were people up here. I said, come on down. And we went, and the caretaker of the Neocoro looked, and then when he put his finger on it, and it broke, and tear came out. The painting had, and when I saw that, I said, Pedia, this icona has to come back up. Δάκρυσε η Παναγία. At that time, I brought it back up, second floor of the office building, and made a chapel in 1960 of Panagia Pantovasilissa, named after my father's hometown parish, Panagia Pantovasilissa, a 7th century Byzantine monastery. And we were up there. And I have pictures of their making the iconostasio. And that, I see there's so much to say. When the older people could not really climb up. But for the 15th of August, we would start services up there and continuous services all night long, Oloniktia, 7 sermons in between. And we have this all on tape. In fact, on tape, 1/16 of a second. The really slow tapes. And the first liturgy was early morning. The second liturgy was later on the 15th of August when all people would be able to come, etc. I mean, the history of this parish, the all-night services. But back then, this was Greek town. People walked to church, and the place was always crowded. We had upstairs, always there are people upstairs when I came, and got downstairs, and over 1,000 people can sit in this church. So that's the history of St. George, the continuous history. But then Archbishop Iakovos, much later, when he came to bless the founding of the second part of our old age home, he personally blessed this chapel. He did the blessing of the chapel, and he was so happy because it was named in Pantovasilissa from Triglia, and being from that area, he was so happy. Kala Pantovasilissa.